Welcome to Inmate Tea with AMP. And today we're talking to an inmate in North Carolina who is calling to expose the complete search procedure, a degrading and abusive practice that goes far beyond the standard squat and cough. What he describes as traumatizing, humiliating, and frankly, unacceptable. Welcome, Dave, to the podcast. We're glad to have you on. How are you doing today?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So, I have a
Good,
cup
doing
and
good.
you have the tea. We're ready for you to spill it on this complete search procedure because it's pretty grotesque, and we want to know your experience. It's my understanding that you wrote a grievance on it that you filed with the
I did.
department, and kind of give us a little bit of a backstory leading up to this incident. What was happening? Why they decided to search you?
Yeah, well, I was actually going out on a medical trip that morning. I have never left a prison and get strip searched on my way out. That was kind of shocking to me to start with. Whenever he pulled me into the search room and told me that I needed to strip, I was like, for what? I said, I'm leaving the prison. I'm not coming back. He said, well, it's policy now that we have to strip search you on the way out and on the way in. Well, I didn't have no problem with being strip searched. I've been in prison a long time, but it was the way that the officer went about this new strip search policy that they got. So I've never been so humiliated in my life to have to get undressed and perform the acts in front of another man in order for me to go to a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
I just could not wrap my head around it. I can read the grievance to you. I have, and I can read their response.
Yeah, that would be great.
And
But
there
one
was no.
question, Dave. I have one question.
Yes, yep,
How long have you
yep.
been incarcerated?
Going on 6 years now.
Have you ever been searched in this manner before?
Never.
Okay.
That was why I put the grievance. That was why I put the grievance in. Normally, I put grievances on things that matter, that staff are doing against the inmates, and that's the only time I put grievances in. And this was one of the times that I had to put a grievance in on this one.
In your 6 years of
And
incarceration, you said you've never been taken out of the prison before?
well, I have been taken out plenty of times. I go on
Okay.
frequent medical trips.
Okay, so whenever you go out on those medical trips, you're never searched, right?
I've never been searched on the way out.
Okay, and so I just have to kind of question because I'm kind of putting myself in our viewers' shoes, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they would search you because they don't want you to have any kind of weapon or anything on you. But whenever you are being transported, aren't you fully restrained? And you're in the presence of correctional staff the entire time.
Yes, there's two officers present at all times. You're fully restrained, handcuffed, shackled, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
They change us out of our regular clothes and put us in a jumpsuit. So we don't even have our regular clothes. We don't even have our regular clothes and shoes or anything like that when we leave the prison.
Yeah, so it really wouldn't make much sense for them to do this invasive strip search when you're leaving.
Dave, one question. Yeah. You know, being that you're fully restrained, you're with two officers everywhere you go. When you go in to see the doctor, you're going to another prison most of the time, right?
I go to the Hanger Clinic. It's independently owned prosthetic place.
So now, being that you're going into the Hanger Clinic, when you go into that room, does not both officers be sitting in the room with you all the time with the doctor?
Yes, both officers stay with us at all times.
Okay, so it would be common to say that if any contraband, you're still in these full restraints, your hands is shackled to your waist, your feet is shackled. Yep. It would be common to say that if any contraband was to get to you, the only person could give it to you was the officer or the doctor, and the officers are standing there watching the doctor the whole time. Am I correct?
Yes, it would have to be the officer himself, unless the officer and the doctor had something worked out together to where the doctor could do it, but it would more likely have to be the officer himself, because we're never away from them and never out of their sight.
Yeah, and you're never unshackled, unchained. You're never outside of those restraints to be able to actually insert something into your rectal cavity, right?
No, never.
Okay.
When
So
we
there's
go out
no
on
need
when
for-
we go out on a trip like that, yeah, they don't even let us use the bathroom or anything. If we have to use the bathroom, they tell us you use the bathroom before you leave the facility because you can't use it again until you get back.
Yeah. Okay. Without that, I just want our viewers to understand that the level of security that is held up from the leaving of the prison and after that initial strip search to the doctor's office and back to the prison, because it's virtually impossible for someone that's going out on one of these trips to actually obtain any kind of contraband. And furthermore, you know, if they were going to stick something up their butt, you can't do it because you can't even reach your butt. You can't even scratch your knees or scratch your nose.
No, it would be impossible for you to insert anything into any cavity. You can't move your hands from your waist. You're handcuffed with a black box. You can't move your hands to the right or left. You can't move them up or down. You can't twist them. I mean, you're secured straight in front of your belly button, and your hands do not move from in front of your belly button without hurting your wrists or causing a lot of pain to your wrists. I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and read us your grievance. That way we can hear about the incident that took place.
Okay. This incident happened on 4/21 of 2025. I was leaving for a medical trip. During my departure, Officer McBride, a male officer in receiving, he was conducting a strip search, and I felt that his intentions were unprofessional. As I was undressing, he was not searching my clothes, my boots, or my prosthetic. He made me lift my privates and commented for me to turn around and over and spread my cheeks nice and wide so he could get a good look at my, ass. He did not show any concern about contraband being in any of my clothes or take the proper time to search my prosthetic. He was more concerned in seeing me naked, and he left the search room without properly searching me. I was made very uncomfortable by his actions and his comments during his supposed search for contraband. His actions and comments were of a sexual nature. Once he saw me naked, he left me and my clothes in the search room, and that was the end of that. Whenever me and the other inmate that was going on this trip, we were talking about this in the back seat, and the driver, which is another officer, was listening to us, and he said, this ain't the first time that I have heard this happen about this complete search procedure. He said, you need to file a grievance as soon as you get back. Now, this was another officer that told me to file the grievance.
Yeah.
Okay. I filed that grievance. And the response that I got back on the next day on 4/22 says your grievance has been identified as an allegation of inmate sexual abuse or harassment. Your grievance has been forwarded to the facility head for further action according to the Prison Rape Elimination Act of 2003 and the Division of Department of Adult Corrections, Prison Inmate Sexual Abuse and Sexual Harassment Policy, Chapter F, Section 400. 2 days after I received this piece of paper, the officer that I had this PREA against, I passed in the hallway. And me and this officer are never supposed to be in the same quarters or in the same vicinity. We're supposed to be separated. Okay? Yeah. There was 2 lieutenants standing at the end of the hall that saw this officer pass me. And when I got close to them, they looked at me and they covered their mouth and they said, that's Elkins that has a PREA against McBride. And I seen the look on their face and they were just like, oh no. Okay, I put a grievance on that. That grievance was rejected.
What?
Another day later, this very same officer passed me in the same hallway again. And you're talking about feeling uncomfortable because I've already put the grievance in. The camp knows that I put the grievance in, and the other officers know that I put the grievance in. And the way this man was looking at me coming down the hallway, he could have killed me with his looks. And still to this day, none of this stuff has been investigated. They said that it was going to be investigated by facility heads. No one has spoke to me about it. I haven't heard anything else about it, and this has been almost 5 months.
Wow.
So Dave they pretty much breached the PREA policy by availing all staff that you filed a grievance regarding sexual abuse and sexual harassment against Officer McBride. They pretty much said, hey, oh, this is a joke. Officer McBride, he took this guy in there and done what he done, but they're pretty much making a joke out of it because you took action against this man for violating you in a way that no man nor woman should ever be violated. You know, this man asked you to bend over at the waist and objectified you and looked at you,
and the way he
told you to turn over and bend over
and spread my cheeks nice and wide. I mean, come on, where do they say that at? You know, if you're not homosexual, you don't tell another man something like that, even if it's your job. You tell him, hey, bend over, let me see, you ain't got no contraband. I mean, just the way you word things has a lot to do with it.
Well, thank you so much, Dave, for coming on the podcast and talking to us about this today. This is a major issue, and it's not right. But we want to thank you for being brave enough to come on and share your experience with us. Thanks to our viewers for tuning in to Inmate Tea with AMP. No one was sentenced to sexual abuse or the loss of dignity. Stories like this one remind us why we must keep shining a light on these abuses. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep standing for justice. Make sure you like and subscribe.